Rift Valley Water Services Board is one of the 8 water services boards established by the Government of Kenya through the Water Act of 2002 as part of a wider structural reorganization to facilitate development programs as envisaged in the Kenya Vision 2030. With the operationalization of the Act in March of 2004 through a Gazette notice, the board began its operations with a mandate of providing efficient and affordable water services.
We established the baseline at 32%. We also established what are the water sources that we have in this country, in this region of the country. We know where the boreholes are, where we should drill all the boreholes. We know where the rivers are and the volumes of those rivers, and therefore we know how much investment should be made.
As stipulated in the Act, the board is responsible for investing in water infrastructure development, strategic planning and capacity building for county governments on behalf of the national government. In the last 10 years, the board has committed over 12 billion shillings in completed projects, raising an estimated overall coverage from 32% to 62% within rural and urban areas.
The government has prioritized projects that are ongoing and those that have already secured funding from donors so that they can provide counterpart funding. Now what that means is that as we implement those ongoing projects, we are having less to implement in the future. That's why we need to really prioritize and fund the planning and design of new projects to ensure that we are actually moving sustainably towards Vision 2030.
Nakuru town is one of the fastest growing towns in Kenya, according to a UN Habitat Development Report 2010, with a growing urban population of 1,603,325 in regards to the latest census done in 2009. This and other factors such as fluctuating climatic conditions and limited surface water has posed a challenge to reliable water supply for both domestic and industrial use.
We have, like in Nakuru, tried to solve that problem by mixing water, surface water with the groundwater, so that we reduce the fluoride levels towards acceptable standards.
I'm happy the kind of relationship that we have in the implementation of this project. The county government, together with Rift Valley Water Services Board, as an agencies of the national government, we are implementing quite well. The relationship is very good, and we are in it. In fact, mobilizing the community, we normally go together.
In response to this growing water demand in Nakuru town and its environs, the rural urban centers of Njoro, Kuresoi, Rongai, the board has embarked on an ambitious mega project in the name of Itare Dam Water Project, a magnificent water trapping dam at Ndoinet, Kuresoi sub-county. The construction works on this project commenced in April 2017 after feasibility studies were completed in 2011. The project, being undertaken by CMC de Ravenna of Italy, is one of the flagship projects identified by the government as a priority area under the economic pillar. The project cost is 28.9 billion Kenya shillings and will be implemented over a period of 4 years.
We are here in Itare to build the Itare Dam, a very big and important project for the Kenyan government, a project that started in the 80s with the need of water for Nakuru, but also for other towns like Molo, Njoro, and all the way to Nakuru from here. This project, once finished, will have an impounding area of more or less 4 kilometers of area and a capacity of 28 millions of cubic meter of water.
this is what is going to be the silver bullet for this town in terms of water. Those particular areas that are water stressed in our town will no longer have this problem. Once the project is completed, we'll have 24 hour water supply for the next 20 to 30 years.
The Itare Water Project site is a picturesque of sort, a meandering landscape marked by rocky hills and deep carved depressions within the Mau catchment, making it one of the most promising high-volume water traps in the region. This location was identified as an area of great water resource that can be developed with minimal environmental impact and is also favorable for the project owing to multiple streams emanating from Mau Forest and an enduring hydrologic potential data spanning 64 years. The project, which will comprise a 57-meter-high dam with 28 million cubic meters storage and a water treatment plant consisting of a 130-kilometer, 1.5-meter diameter pipeline, 14.5-kilometer tunnel and storage tanks, will provide job opportunities for the local community and other Kenyans, both in skilled and semi-skilled labor.
CMC does not compromise on quality and safety. So we have to make sure that everybody has the relevant skills and papers and the technical verification required to perform the job.
Upon completion of the project, the board will hand over the function of distribution to water services companies, WASCOs, under an arrangement with the county government to retail the commodity to the end users. The board will supervise the WASCOs to ensure proper management until the investment loan has been repaid. The Nakuru Water and Sanitation Company, NAWASCO, is a body responsible for provision and distribution of water and sewerage services in Nakuru town, serving a population of over 500,000 people. The board has continued to invest heavily in water infrastructure for the county governments through water service providers.
Currently, we're only able to meet about 45 to 50% of the water demand in the town. We supply about 40,000 cubic meters of water per day against a demand of between 65 and 70,000 cubic meters of water per day.
Nakuru Water and Sanitation Company distributes water to residents of Nakuru town through the Meroroni Water Treatment Plant located at Milimani area, where groundwater is blended with river water to attain consumable standards. Surface water is drawn from Meroroni and Malewa rivers, both yielding a total of 7,000 cubic meters per day, which is then blended with groundwater from Kabatini, Baharini and Olbanita waterworks to produce a total of 27,000 cubic meters per day.
We have two main sources, that is river sources, and here we are talking of Meroroni River, which has got a capacity of 5,000 cubic meters per day. We have Malewa River, which has got a capacity of 2,000 cubic meters per day. That gives us a total of 7,000 cubic meters of water per day from surface water sources. So in total, you will realize that our production capacity is about 48,000 cubic meters of water in a day.
After the plain sedimentation process, the water now we add aluminium sulfate, which is a coagulant. Now that coagulant, there is the rapid mixing, which you cannot see, is inside the pipe. So when it reaches there now, the speed is reduced to zero. From there now we allow the slow motion to allow the chemical to react with the water. That is what we call flocculation. So now the water comes here, which is now clean. The water is palatable.
Nakuru Rural Water and Sanitation Company, NARUWASCO, is a second water service provider serving the county of Nakuru. It covers the rural parts of Nakuru and rural urban centers outside of Nakuru municipality in a service area of approximately 7,400 square kilometers. Some of its coverage area, like Kiamunyi, never had adequate water supply.
For the last 1 year, we've never seen water in our taps. We've been buying water from the suppliers from town, and the water is not very good. So our big request is that if the government or the water department can help us to get water, we shall be very happy.
According to the manager of the Nakuru Rural Water and Sanitation Company, completion of Itare and Chemususu Dam water supply projects will greatly alleviate and ultimately solve water scarcity within the company's coverage area.
Itare Dam project is coming up, and it will be able to help us a lot in meeting the shortfall in demand. As I said, that we are serving around 40% of the demand, so we hope the Itare Dam project, which is being implemented by the Water Service Board, will come and fill the gap in providing services, and even now, even us to be able to reactivate the connections which have become dry. So we hope that with the projects coming up, Chemususu and Itare Dam, which are being implemented by the Water Board, should be able to really give us some mileage in meeting the demand.
Naivasha town is a popular tourist destination, hosting renowned tourist attraction sites such as the Hell's Gate National Park, Mount Longonot and Lake Naivasha, to name just a few. With a total population of 186,966 and growing industries, the town's quest for water is not in dispute. Naivasha Water and Sewerage Services, Naivawas, is responsible for the supply of water and sanitation services within Naivasha and its suburbs.
At the moment, based on the infrastructure, we are not able actually to supply everybody 24/7. We are only managing to do about 60%. The rest requires actually us to improve on our capacity, and it implies that we have to improve on our infrastructure. Some 5 boreholes were put up, and major transmission lines were done, and water reservoirs were done in a place called Daily Training Institute, which has really enhanced our ability to cope with the demand in town. At the same time, the source of that water is of higher quality.
Rift Valley Water Services Board has been involved in securing donor funding and commercial lending from African Development Bank to expand water infrastructure in Naivasha. This has seen the drilling and construction of 5 boreholes and major transmission lines. However, Naivasha's aquifer has high levels of fluorides, and this poses a big challenge for the company in providing quality water.
The water we get from here is slightly below the average that is recommended by the WHO, which is 1.5. Actually, the average, the highest we've ever recorded here is 1.32, which is below 1.5, which is good for consumption.
Naivasha is a hugely endowed town that has attracted investments in the hotel industry owing to its tourism potential. The business community appreciates the services offered by the water company in aiding the operations when conducting business.
Being a hotelier, I have experienced their services which are good. I would recommend their services because they have not been having any fluctuations. We have not had any contamination from the water, and they just respond in good time.
Nyandarua County is home to one of the major water towers in the country. The Aberdare Ranges, a spectacular mountainous range stretching south of the equator, is an enduring water source for the 3 counties through which the mountains pass. Nyandarua has a population of about 596,268 people, occupying an area of 3,304 square kilometers. Owing to favorable climate and the major water tower, Nyandarua cannot be said to be a water-stressed county. But the challenge has been to harness and distribute the water resource within the county. Water services in Nyandarua are provided by the All-Kalau Water and Sewerage Company, Olwasco, which started in 2006, and the Nyandarua Water and Sewerage Company, Nyawasco.
The first project in water actually in this county was funded through Rift Valley, and it touches our city, All-Kalau City, which is the core business of the county now, is in this town. We had the project sponsored by JICA, and it has been running to date.
In order to meet the water needs of a 2,500 customer base resident in Olkalau town, Rift Valley Water Services Board constructed the Olkalau Water Project as a gravity water scheme. The board, in conjunction with JICA, has also funded Gatimo treatment works and use of water bowser to ease water supply challenges in the area.
We had a customer base of about 500 consumers. To date, the company has grown to a number of around 2,500 consumers. We have people who are not able to afford to have a water connection. We give them services from the water kiosks.
Mbeleni Olkalau walikuwa napata maji kutoka kwa boreholes. Na kutumia boreholes ni bei ghali sana kwa sababu ya stima. Lakini wakati Rift Valley Water Services Board wakishikana na JICA wakatujengea maji kutoka mlima wa Aberdares.
Nyandarua, the risk of lacking sewers is pollution of rivers, which are eventually going to flow into other counties. So, since we are a water tower, we would want you to look for funding for sewer.
Narok County is reputed as a major agricultural and tourism hub within the South Rift region, portending a formidable economic activity that presents a significant population, both in business community and rural folk who are in need of water services. The economic activity in the county is estimated to generate close to 10 billion shillings in revenues annually. Even with its huge potential, Narok had experienced water scarcity for many years. This is no longer the case, with the advent of a modern water infrastructure development in the name of Narok Water Treatment Project in Narok town. The magnificent project, which is one of a kind in the region, was funded by JICA, that is the Japan International Cooperation Agency, in partnership with the Kenyan government to the tune of 2.3 billion shillings, with the Rift Valley Water Services Board as the implementing agency.
We operate around 3 schemes, one in Lunga with a capacity of around 400. We have another 2 here in Narok. The old one has a capacity of 1,000 cubic meters per day. And where we are standing is a new scheme that was developed with the assistance of JICA with a capacity of around 4,000 cubic meters per day.
We have already 4,300 households connected, unlike before where we had 2,300. So there is an increase of 2,000 households connected in Narok town. JICA project, there is large volumes of water. It is running like 20 hours a day, and like before where there was rationing, you do 12 hours a day. Even the improvement in quality. The quality is so good, you can even drink the water without buying the mineral water.
Kuna tangi zingine watu walikuwa najenga huku chini, sijui walikuwa wanamwagilia na magari gani. Unakuta shida hata unasikia saa yote unasikia complain ya mtu akisema nimenunua maji kuna shida, kuna mchanga chini. Kila mtu nasikia saa nyingine kunakuwa na diarrhea, lakini so far ile kitu nataka kuweka tu nguvu ni kwamba toka siku ile maji iliingia hatujapata ugonjwa tena, ni kwa sababu hiyo maji in fact hata tuchemshagi tunachotaka straight from fereji na tunaitumia, hatujapata.
Narok County has a total of 648 schools, which include 568 primary and 62 secondary schools that have now benefited from the improved water availability in the county.
From that time, we've been consuming very good water. We are very lucky. We are very, very happy also with the water company, JICA itself, because the water is known here as JICA water. I think everyone calls it JICA water. When this water came to the school, it's like we all jubilated. It was very, very good for us because we had suffered from lack of water for a long time. So we appreciate.
There are a total of 116 hotels in Narok County, which equally stretch the need for water in Narok. Water is very crucial in order to run the hotel business smoothly. Mohamed Sheikh is a manager of Kalira Hotel.
Hatuna complain kwa sababu maji kama unapata kila wakati, na biashara yetu ni maji. Hoteli ni maji. Bila maji hakuna kazi. Kupotea kwa hii maji si mbaya kama zamani. Kwa mwezi inaweza potea siku moja mbili ambaye tuko na tank reservoir.
The water situation in Narok town has drastically changed for the better, enabling residents to lead decent lives with steady supply of clean water.
Tulipata msaada kutoka kwa Rift Valley Water Board na tukakuwa watu community ambao wamefurahi sana. Maji hii inaenda sehemu kadhaa, inaenda institutions of learning pamoja na health center, administration offices pia wamepata maji. Kioski ambayo iko nyuma yangu hapa imejengwa kwa sababu ya watu, mahitaji ya maji ya watu wa sehemu ya Lokurto.
Nikiteja ashe oleng tenkaraki ena miradi nayakaki yiok amu ore oshi tenyamali sapuk naa isirkon nereu intomonok ireyieta nenapu enkare towueitin neelakua naa kajo ore ebaiki ena rishata naa keeng'iyeng'a.